Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween. We are in, well, we're not in it just yet. We are going to go to Black Cat Village. And Black Cat Village was also the town where we spent Family Friday. It is a fantastic place. I don't know if you've been there, but in case you haven't, it has one central village, and then there are several sections to the town. One of them is the zombie section, which is led by Eve Mortis. The witches were led by Eve Salem, and the werewolves were led by Eve Luna. Also, we mustn't forget about the vampires that were led by Eve Vlad. And all of them have a different section of the town that they reside in. And I'm going to show you Black Cat Village now, so let's go. I hope there are some clothes around here. This is the center of the town. I will call myself a spooky name. I am Death. Death has arrived in Black Cat Village. So this is the spawn point. As you can see, it's already looking kind of spooky. We got a skull. This is all in paranormal style, of course. And you might recognize this from the video, the cozy life I did about the forest that I planted. And I'll definitely walk by the forest as well again. And show you guys that part as well. Let's get some nice clothes going. Let's get some boots. Sadly, there was a crash while this family was live, and I think they lost a lot of clothes because they definitely had more, especially in terms of boots and shoes. These shelves were completely filled up, so I think it must have just despawned at some point. They also lost a lot of horses. Which happens when these map wipes happen, but it looks like they got a lot of bicycles. Maybe they were just not in use, or someone made new ones. That's also possible. And I'll use this nice little black race horse. This is a show horse with a saddle bag. These are pretty cool. Oh, I should probably take a poi back. Okay, they still have poi backs. No worries there. And yeah, let's start the tour. So right next to spawn, we have our little cheese hut here. Now, the cheese hut was also mentioned in the video I did on cheese with Eerie. At the end of that video, we toured several cheese huts, and this was one of them. So yeah, here's the cheese hut, and right underneath we have the pantry of the kitchen. Now, do they have any great foods? Ooh, this is really good food. I'm just gonna eat the best freaking foods I can find. There's not that many really good foods. Like, this is pretty good. And I'll save a little bit of yummy in my tummy for if I enter the fish house later on. They might have some really good yums too. And this is their kitchen. I love the sandstone and black plaster wall. Also, I love this little section here. I think this looks really cute. Just these black plaster walls surrounding the fireplace and the shelters, and then above it they have these scary cedar trees. Let's not forget to pay our respects to our little turkey here. This is this was for one of the competitions. I was like, huh, what? This is Oblulu, if I'm not mistaken. He is the turkey friend of the family. There was a sort of scavenger hunt during the event, and you had to get like letters from tombstones, and every tombstone led to the next direction. It was really cool. I really enjoyed doing that. Also, there's black cats over here, keeping an eye on the scarecrow. They're in hunting mode. Basically, when birds try to, eat the scarecrow, the cats should protect it, is the idea behind it. These were the animal pens. I helped build these initially. I helped a little bit at the start of the town, but like really only in the first week. I helped with some of the animal pens here. I made this honey farm together with Eerie. And then later on, I didn't come for a long while. And then the next time I came, I built this massive magical forest. And then the time after, I was with Cinder and we built this little house. And then during the event, I think we built this addition to the forest as well. And then we built this little place here. And we had so much fun role-playing in here. So what happened here was I would lock people in here with all this food. Like I stocked the shelves until they were fully full, and then I would basically lure them in there. People would go in, and then I'd lock the fence, and they'd be stuck in there. And then they'd be like, "No, let us out." And we had so much fun role-playing there. At a certain point, there were 3 people in the hut that didn't want to come out because they were like, if we come out, you eat us. We can't come out, so they were just in there for over an hour, and it was freaking hilarious. Also, keep in mind, I lock people in there. The moment a baby got born or something, I always opened the gate. I always gave people a choice. I didn't get reported. I locked about 7 people in there, and none of them reported me. I checked with Tanya afterwards. I was like, I locked so many people in that building. Did nobody report me? And she's like, no. And that's because people know it was a game and it wasn't serious. And also there was food in there. They were not in danger of starving, right? And I was role-playing really heavily into my role of witch that wanted to eat them. So they really didn't mind. So I was good. I was not reported. And that's the thing also with like PvP and all these other things that, you know, there are cases where all those things are bannable. Like you can do it all wrong. It has to be consensual. It has to be fun. And if you're just not funny, sorry, you get reported. Like if you're just doing it to make people feel shitty, or if someone's working hard and then you lock them in, or then you kill them, or whatever, you're gonna get reported. But sometimes people are just in it for the role playing, and then you can, you know, role play hard with those. Now this little house here is also fantastic. This is a Pizza Hut, very, very beautiful. I love how they got all the cloths on the table. There's not a great deal of pizza going on here right now, but that's fine. And once again, some black cats. There's always black cats in this town, and random animals in random buildings, which is also something I've noticed they often have. We have the tailor over here, the farm area. We have a pumpkin art house. So in here you have all these buckets of paint and whatnot. This was all part of the town when I was here last time as well. Storage with some cravings. The rabbit farm. This was something newish they were building, but they never finished it, sadly. I also have to say, they were trying to do a little bit of building during the event, but there were so many other things going on. Like there were other events going on at the same time, and people were role-playing really hard, so there wasn't as much building as they probably had hoped for, but it was still nice, you know, people were not bored. Also, I was an idiot. I locked the key to this chest inside the wooden chest. I did that. That's possible. I had the key in my hand and it was open, and then I wanted to close it again, but I put the key in there first and then I clicked the chest again and I closed it, and now the key to the chest is inside the chest. So this chest is never going to be opened. It's a good thing the map is being wiped, because I absolutely ruined the scavenger hunt for everyone else in that regard. Over here we have our puppies and our kitties. So that was also here last time we played, if I'm not mistaken. And then over here was the part of the town where the Vlad family was meant to live. And they started building a castle. There's a bit of a layout going on here for the castle. I said, I will come and plant you guys a forest. And I did. However, as you can see, this forest is really not complete yet. It's very thin. I would go back in here, put more soil down, put more trees down. If you know, the family was alive, if I could place some more in this town, I would probably return here and fix this forest up, make it really dense. But this is a good example of a first stage of a forest. You plant some trees that you think will fit, and then you just go back once it's fully grown, and then you're like, okay, this is a very empty spot, this is an empty spot. This here looks a little bit empty too, and then you just start layering more trees and more flowers on top of it. So yeah, let's go up, up, up. So over here we have an oil rig. I don't think there's anything here besides some mines. I am going to go over here. I also think this is not the area where we will find a lot of things, but if we go south we will. Yeah, the town is really massive. There's a lot of things built very, very far apart. There's actually a maze to the town, which is like 500 tiles away, which is also nuts. I think also over here, this is where the tree farm is. They have a massive tree farm. The one regret I had about the tree farm was the fact that it was simply too far away often. So often it was like, I need 3 bud logs. And then it was like, oh god, I need to go 200 tiles before I reach the place where I can find bud logs. And here we have, they gathered so much dye materials. And then they gave every family, so they gave Eve Mortis, Eve Salem, Eve Luna, Eve Vlad, the job to make pixel art. So every team made pixel art. And over here, this was by Vlad. This is a rabbit Dracula, bunny Dracula. I don't know. It had a specific name. Maybe some of you guys know what it is. But it's a bunny that's also Dracula. Then this was done by the Werewolves, by Eve Luna. They made this little wolf here in the moonlight. I hope you can see it. I was part of the Witches that life, and I drew the bottle, basically. And then I said, like, fill it up to here, leave a little bit of white here. And then they did all the rest of it. And I think they did a fantastic job. I really think the little bottle is cute. It's a good Witches thing. And then, who was left? The zombies, led by Eve Mortis. They did the black cat with the pumpkin. I did say at the start, I was like, are we going to do a black cat? And they were like, someone was like, we did that last competition. Because I think Nancy had a competition where they also drew a black cat. So, and then I was like, okay, let's not do a black cat then. But then these people had already started doing a black cat. So we were a little glad that we hadn't done the same. I think they might have won. I think the zombies might have won. I'm not sure. There was like, if you go back to events like a week ago, you will be able to find the info on who won. Now this over here, this was actually Salem, and it's shaped as a pentagram, as you can see. There's a pentagram here, and this was meant to be Eve Salem's town. Now, keep in mind, they didn't know that the map wipe was going to happen as soon as it did. So the idea was that they would do more things in all these zones as well, and they would play more, and it wouldn't just be for a day. And there would just be a lot more life and activities going on in here. Sadly, with the map wipe, they can't finish all the plans they had. But it was looking really cute. Also, they had so many radios built in this town just to communicate with each other because it's so massive. You would go everywhere for this. So yeah. Personally, I really like the idea of building in a pentagram, etc. But also I like just being able to do my own thing and make a forest in the middle of nowhere and be like, this is my witch's hut, this is where I live. So if I go this direction, I would encounter the maze. However, my problem with the maze is I do not have the password of it. I do think it was shared somewhere with me, but I'm not sure where. I'm getting a lot of DMs now that the map wipe is approaching, and I'm struggling to keep it all organized and to know where everything is, and I apologize for that. However, I will overlay some images that I have from the maze that I found in the Discord and that I took myself. The maze was a lot of fun. It was not just a regular maze. There were 4 stones in the maze, and you had to pick up the stone to get a letter, and every letter would be the password to open one of the doors. Like, it was 4 letters. I think it was something like MSLV or something. And if you had that, then you could open the door to the exit. But it was not just that. You could only exit if you were a ghost. And to become a ghost, you had to make a ghost costume. So at your first stop, you had to pick up some wool or some shears at the next stop. And then there was a loom at some point, so you had to use the wool that you had gathered and the shears, and you had to make yourself a cloak or something, or I don't know, whatever, maybe not a cloak, no, it's later on. Anyway, at the last step, there was an Eve waiting with a knife, and they would cut the holes in your cloak so that you could make a ghost costume of it, if I'm not mistaken. And it was such a fun idea of doing the maze, and there were 2 rounds or 3 rounds that they did, and I won one of the rounds, and I was really proud of that. Really happy with that too. Anyway, here's the little smithy where they also had some storage. We're not done yet. There's more to this town. Over here is the glassword factory, along with a little side kitchen, which I know was made by Cinder. because we were trying to make glass at some point, I think, and we were starving, and I was like, this is way too hot to make glass, we need food. So we made a little kitchen next door so we could always have food and not starve while making glass. And over here, this was a little orchard that I built. As I always say about the orchards, keep it in the same biome, then you don't need to fence it in. Then you also saw that some of the bees are kind of escaping and going over here, but it was still good. It still works. Most of the bees do end up at these apple trees, etc. Also, I have completely skipped the fish hut, have I not? I'm going to go down to the fish hut again. Oh, here's the fish hut. So yeah, we have this. Also, I didn't really draw a lot of attention to it, but how lovely is this storage for the bikes and the horses? And even the bikes look kind of industrial, and then this area for the horses look like stables. Over here, they have their fishing spot with their little fishing house. If you look at the white paint, you can see that it's actually fish bones in here. They have some food here. Oh, cooked lobster. I'm gonna eat one. That's really yum food. Do we have anything else I could take with me? Maybe I should have put the cooked lobster in my backpack. I'll take cooked crab with me dispatched. Is that eat? I can't eat this yet. It's not for eating. Damn it. Is that cooked? Yes. Okay, so that one's going with me. That's my next yum if I do get hungry again. Yeah, over here as well, you can see lots of things were being built, but not everything was finished. Here they have their setup for mining. We have the glass house again, and we are going up now into the part that is from Eve Mortis, and this says the living dead are up ahead, which is pretty cool as an entrance. And then over here, they had their own clothes room. I feel like their houses were done, but they were still kind of empty. They hadn't lived in there very much. And then they had the kitchen here, but as you can see, pretty empty too. So sadly, not a lot of things going on here in terms of life. Well, they are zombies, so maybe I shouldn't expect life. But the buildings were beautiful, I think. And I love how they went with a little bit of green theme for their buildings, because zombies had the color green. There were accent colors for every town. Like the vampires had red, the zombies had green, the witches had blue, and the werewolves had yellow. So they all had these accent colors going for their towns. So yeah, now that you saw Black Cat Village, I hope that that you remember this town fondly, that you spent some time here with Halloween, or that you spent some time here with Family Friday. We were celebrating Halloween like 2 weeks early, but shh, it's okay. If you spent some time here with Halloween, what did you do? What was your most memorable thing that you did in Halloween Town? Did you enjoy the activities? Do you have a favorite activity? For me, it was definitely the maze. I thought it was very well done. And a lot of fun with the mission in the maze that you had to make the ghost costume. That made it so fantastic. I really hope that there are going to be more Halloween towns on the next map. I think it's just a great theme. The devs also always spawn in these beautiful witch hats for us. Then we had more. We had so many more, but they despawned when the server crashed, which is kind of normal. So yeah, if you were here, tell me. What did you like about this town? What did you do when you were here? I want to know all about it. And yeah, what about building a Halloween town? Would you do that if Halloween is over? Is that something you could do an entire year? Or do you feel like you only want to do it like a month or so before Halloween starts? What do you guys feel about that? So yeah, thanks for watching this tour. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And remember, eat yum, eat meh.